What's up, Aquarius? How's it going? Happy February. Happy birthday! So, I hope you've all been celebrating your birthdays. I know I have been. Mine's passed already. I had quite a blast. Maybe a bit too much fun as well. But it was nice. It was nice to let go and be the center of attention for once. Because why not? We all deserve it. Once in the year, right? Aquarius. I'm going to cut down on the chatter this month, by the way. Just going to dive straight into everyone's reading. Not really feeling it this month, if I'm going to be honest. However, I'm still here. And I think maybe the reason why I'm not so in tune this month is because maybe I need a reading. Aquarius, we're going to look at life in general. We're also going to look at love. 2 readings in one. It might not end up being as long as you think, though, or as I think. I'm going to use a small spread this time around. Not your cards yet. What does Aquarius need to be made aware of in February 2017? What do we need to learn this February 2017? These cards are tricky. Quite tricky. Interesting. Got it. First card. Second card. 3, 4. Shall we have a look? We have the 6 of Wands, the 4 of Wands, the 2 of Wands, and we have the Lover's card. And this was only meant to be the general portion of the reading, by the way. And yet we still have the Lover's card here. Okay, so maybe romance is quite a theme this month. But here's how we're going to do this. This card tells me what you know and what everyone else in your surroundings also knows about your current situation. With the 6 of Wands, you know that you're on the right path. You know that you're going to be victorious. You know that this is coming for you sooner rather than later. But you know that in the meanwhile, you're going to have to teach a few people some lessons around you for them to acknowledge this power that you've slowly been accumulating. For people to acknowledge that you're not as weak as they may have gained an impression of before in the past. Now is somehow your time to shine. But there's still quite a long way for you to go, Aquarius. And this is something you're knowledgeable about, as well as people around you. You're on the same page when it comes to acknowledging that victory is not so far. It's in the palm of your hands. And if you keep up the good work, you will have people that follow suit with you as well. This is a card that tells me that all the action and the perseverance that you endured is now finally paying off. The contemplation, the rigorous mental activity as well is now paying off. So we're talking about actively thinking about how it is that you can be successful, as well as changing necessary elements in your life, such as the way that you live, the way that you take care of your health, how productive you are on a day-to-day basis, the daily grind that you put up, and simply riding through the motions. All the monotonous, boring stuff you have to put up with on a day-to-day basis, that's supposed to lend you a hand towards, moving up, whether it is in your social life or in your work life, because this can be talking about victory in different planes of your own personal existence. I can't pinpoint what that is for each viewer who's watching, but I can tell you that in at least one category of your life, you will be victorious this month, and you will gain recognition of this success from those around you. What you don't know, however, and not just you, but there's someone that you've been pursuing, and someone who's been pursuing you. So this is reciprocal. However, what you don't know, and what others don't know, is that this relationship goes deeper than superficial. It's just not something that's been made very obvious to you or this partner that you're pursuing. And some of you are seeing more than one person. Some of you are getting quite lucky when it comes to love. And if anything, you're having a hard time making up your mind about who it is you would rather see. But one of these relationships has a deeper meaning to it. You'll most likely come to find this out towards the end of the month. Again, this is not supposed to be the love portion of the reading. This is meant to be the general portion of the reading. But in this case, it is telling me that, well, it's showing me more that this victorious aspect may as well be when it comes to love, since we have both, the Four of Wands here and the Lover's card showing up. There is a partnership. Wow. Sorry about that, guys. There's a partnership that's being shown to me here. And one that can ultimately lead to a very, very long-term relationship. This card also tells me that some of you will be making amends this month with people who you thought you'd broken ties with. So reconciliation is also a possibility here, I'm happy to report. So for some of you, you can feel like you're coming back into a new love with someone you already know, someone you may have already been in a relationship with in the past. But perhaps you were young, naive, a little bit immature. The both of you, were not ready. And now that somehow they've come creeping back into your life. But it's fresh, it's new. It might as well be a new relationship altogether. So this is actually quite lovely. With this Two of Wands here, you see, the thing is, this person, okay, whoever this is to you, Aquarius, has no idea you're playing the field. And I don't, listen, I say this with love, yeah? Some of us may have been going through quite a bit of a dry spell. Whether it's over the last few months, weeks, years, it's all subjective and it's really relative, and it depends on the kind of person you are. Some of us are more introverts than we are extroverts, and so we feel like, if we haven't seen someone in a month or two, then it's time to refresh our social life and put ourselves out there. For others of you, it might be just a matter of days before you're like, yeah, I think I've been home long enough and I need to spice things up a little bit. You call up some friends, call up some mates, go to the bar, grab a few drinks, go to a party, bam, next thing you know, you're hooking up with someone or two or three, and this can happen over a relatively short time period. And you know what they say, when it rains, it pours. So you've met someone, or you've met maybe more than one person, and you're juggling between a couple of people. You're not aware that at least one of these people can actually turn into a real long-term partner for you, someone who can really, really suit you. What they don't know, however, is that you've got other people, you've got other options as well. And when I mean other options, one of the options is to basically drop everyone, including this person, and just focus on yourself. Focus on yourself. Focus on making money, or focusing on your career, whatever it is, expanding your horizons or creative endeavors, which don't have to include other people, certainly don't have to include any partnerships or romantic relationships, right? So that is one option. Another option is basically to take some time off to really see who it is that best suits you. But both ways, you've got this, and you can grab whoever it is that you want this month by the neck, rather aggressively as well, where they don't see it coming, where they may be thinking, oh, I just thought, that you wanted a fling. I didn't think you wanted something serious. Really? You're interested in me? Oh my God, that's awesome, because so am I, and I've just been a bit too embarrassed to tell you. You might be the only thing that's on this person's mind, whereas you've got quite a few eggs to juggle, huh? With this Lover's card, what can we say about this Lover's card? That you're on this person's mind, yeah. Yeah. You're on this person's mind. You're underestimating how important you feel, or how important you are to this person. You may also be underestimating how much you feel about the whole situation or about this person too. But they are most certainly more aware about the potential than you are. What you both don't know is that this can really go places. Question is, are we talking about a fire sign? Or are we talking about a Gemini? Fire sign, you know, Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries. I say this because out of the 4 cards here, 3 are wands. But the Lover's card, Major Arcana here, talks about Gemini. But like I said, some of you could be seeing more than one person. Maybe one is a fire sign, and maybe one is an air sign, like a Gemini. Since this is a shared factor that neither you nor this potential romance is aware of, I'm going to clarify this further. So let's see what this 4 of Wands is really dealing with, or who it's really dealing with, if we happen to see any court cards come our way. Well, it's certainly talking about having a lot of fun here, perhaps meeting someone through friends, over a couple of drinks. Like I said, you may have gone out, had a few drinks, next thing you know, you're hooking up with someone. So, we're dealing with a love that's come about from a rather social situation. Oh. Social media can be one way you've met this person as well. For some of you, it's social media, you know, or it could be using apps like Tinder or, I don't know. I'm actually rather naive when it comes to like online dating and stuff like that. But for some of you, you've met this person through online dating. For others of you, you've met this person or more than one person through friends of yours that you met, you know, when you were going out, celebrating, generally having a good time. When you're, you know, you're less inhibited, more open, more attractive and desirable, quirky, and people like that. Okay, let's see. Oh, what don't we want to do about this? We don't want to overthink. We don't want to start tripping. We don't want to question whether or not this person is the one. Rather, we have to trust that they are. We have the 6 of Wands here again, okay? Confirming that in time you'll come to see that if you think this is too good to be true, it may even be too good to be true, but it's actually happening. This is a love that you can rely on. This is a love that you can have a lot of fun with as well. But there's really no point in like overanalyzing and overthinking. Which is what, you know, this that's what this Page of Swords represents to me. It's just being all over the place and just really not knowing, you know, whether or not this person's right for you, whether or not you're, you know, making the right moves or not. Just don't overthink. Chill, let it be, let it come to you. Continue being who you are. And this will lead to a new beginning with this person, one where you really feel like you can just let go and be carefree and be adventurous and take another leap of faith and forget about all the people who ever hurt you in the past, Aquarius. Where if you even start to question, you know, with this person, like, how did this happen? How did we come to be? How do I know you're the one? How do I know you're not going to hurt me? Just forget about all those questions. I know a few of you are like, yes, but we've been through too much in the past to ignore the fact that we might get hurt or betrayed or cheated on, and all the 1,000,001 things that can go wrong in this day and age, especially if we're dealing with the dating culture, which is absolutely ridiculous because no one wants to have a serious relationship. Everyone wants to have fun. But you know what? So can you. You can have fun. So quit asking 101 questions and just go with the flow. And I mean this as well, you know, for your own health. Like, you don't have to be asking this person directly to their face, but you might be looking at them and thinking, where is this going? What are we doing? Why am I here? Is this going to be serious? And as you go over all these points in your mind, life is slipping you by. And precious moments with this person too. So just pretend like you've already made it. Pretend like you've already made it with this person. And you'll come to see that that's how it's just going to end up being. So that was the general portion of your reading, Aquarius. That wasn't even the love reading. I don't know how different your love reading is going to turn out to be. I'm actually quite curious now because I'm an Aquarius and I'll be damned if any of this happens. I'm just kidding. What's in store for Aquarius for love? February 2017. FYI, the way I take the cards out of this deck, I can't see the cards. I've had a couple of people in real life, I mean face to face, watch me handle this deck and they're like, do you see which cards you're pulling out? And I'm like, no, I don't. It looks like I do, but I really don't. First card, Queen of Wands. Ah, ah, don't go. If it's meant to be, it will come back. Second card. The Magician. Interesting. Y'all are playing each other. Just saying. People need to stop messing with each other's heads, especially when it comes to love. This is ridiculous, you guys. We're all just waiting for the other person to contact us. They're waiting for us to contact them. We're waiting for them to contact us. Queen of Pentacles. Ace of Wands. We're all playing each other like a fiddle. Even the ones that are denying it right now. You're only doing it because you've been hurt before in the past. That's totally understandable. So, what do we have here? Queen of Wands. Everyone is trying to beat the other person at their own game. We're both fully aware of this. You're aware that this person may be playing you. They're also aware that you may be playing them. They're not idiots. We've all gotten to a point in our lives where we know not to take things too seriously, so we were just kind of going with the flow. We inadvertently hurt ourselves, and we hurt other people by doing this too, by going too much with the flow, trying to test out our alternative options. We put people on hold. They put us on hold. Everyone wants to come out the strong, wiser person. But in the end, if we continue to do that, we're going to be standing on our own. Not necessarily regretting anything. Still in great shape. But you'll come off with having two different faces, two different personalities. Almost schizophrenic. Well, I don't want to say that. I'm sorry. I should know better. Coming from a psychology background myself, I don't like to label anyone this way. But what I mean by that is that, you come off as being indifferent to a person, and then you go home and you're practically melting in your own feelings and desire and lust for this person. But your experience has shown you that the more interest you show in a person, the more they run away. I don't blame you. Again, what we all don't know is that we're all capable of manipulating one another, but we're all equally capable of, having good intentions too. So which is it going to be, Aquarius? Are you going to be the one who manipulates? Or are you going to be the one who's on the receiving end of manipulation if you let this get out of hand? Or are you going to take control of the situation because you've got control of the situation, because the Magician says you've got control of the situation? And that goes for all the others who happen to be watching this video, contemplating whether or not the Aquarian in their life actually has a thing for them. We've got the power to make a difference here. Aquarius, you're the one with the upper hand in this relationship that you've got in mind, this one particular person who you're thinking of right now, potentially thinking of right now. You can see this turning into something rather great. You can see it acting as a completely new beginning for yourself as well, and in a rather selfish way too, where you're just like, I could profit from being with someone like this. This person has great ideas. This person is motivated. This person motivates me because they're motivated. This person does their job really, really well, and they might even be able to teach me a thing or two. This person doesn't see themselves in that light, though. They're rather insecure. They don't see how they can be a good match for you. This has nothing to do with you. This has everything to do with this other person's insecurity. This person might not be ready to take a leap right now, regardless of their feelings, regardless of their lust. This card also does talk about strong sexual energy. Yeah, the kind that can get you knocked up as well if you're a female watching this video. So, yeah. But nonetheless, a lot of insecurities that we need to overcome here. And not necessarily you, but from this person's side. And if you're smart, you're going to give this person space. You don't want to suffocate them. But at the same time, you don't want to be waiting forever, right? With this Queen of Pentacles, what you need to know, Aquarius, is that this person's got their mind on other things, possibly, and other people as well. So for some of you, this person's got an earth sign in their lives. For the rest of you, this person's just too busy managing an entire team or department, and they just don't have the luxury to think about relationships and partnerships and taking on that, that extra added factor in their life right now. They've got other people who are depending on them, other people who need to learn from them. But at the same time, they're also struggling to get their message through. Like they know they're in a pivotal point in their lives right now where they best work on their own skill sets. And that's enough for them to handle right now. Having a partnership means that they're going to have to juggle between their needs and wants and the needs and desires of you as well. The fact that the team that they're managing, the people who they have to interact with possibly on a day-to-day basis in the workplace, don't take them as seriously as they would like, is something that is hitting them hard. And that is one factor to consider when it comes to the insecurity that I was referring to before. That they may think, if I can't make it in my own life right now, if I'm incapable of impressing people who are younger than me, who should be listening to me, who I'm meant to be guiding, who I'm meant to be leading, for all you team leaders, project managers out there, then how am I supposed to get this person to respect me? Again, this is the self-esteem issue that we're talking about here. clarify this Magician. It's always the second card that needs the most clarification. Because this is the force, you know, that's really, really working behind the scenes, saying that you can spin this to your advantage, so can the other person. But the Magician can talk about a variety of things, really. The Magician can talk about having to learn, for there to be more things that you need to learn about this person, and vice versa as well. It can talk about tapping into your potential, them as well. But let's see. Let's see what this Magician is dealing with. This is dealing with manipulation. Possibly an air sign here. This can also be talking about multitasking and not being able to juggle as much as you or this other person would like as well. Again, because if I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about the person in question here. Being unable to handle multiple projects going on in their life right now. They're just too tired. They're just simply too tired. Every time they think they're coming close to a win, or every time they think they're coming, close to having more free time. Those are the rest of your cards. This is amazing. The same third, okay. Again, you don't want to take your sweet time making up your mind about which direction this relationship ought to head in. This is something that this person may be doing as well. Taking their sweet time thinking you're not going to go anywhere. However, they will slowly be walking out of the picture if they procrastinate for too long. What you ought to be doing, again, I repeat myself again, because it's come up again, and therefore we just have to keep emphasizing the fact that you can be successful in the direction that this relationship heads in, okay? With the Six of Wands here. If you already believe it, and if you already just start acting like it. And if you do that, well, you could, this card talks about being able to come and go freely and not have to worry too much. This card, it also talks about the other person coming and going freely in your life. If you reassure them that there's interest there, that there's nothing for them to worry about, that they don't have to necessarily be on top of their game. Actually, you know what? Both these cards together showing up tells me that there needs to be a balance between acting on things too quickly and taking too much time to come to a decision. A balance needs to be met here. a balance in both your schedules as well needs to happen, actually, where one of you's got more time on their hands than the other. The other person is far too busy coming and going. So yeah, Aquarius, a bit of a weird reading. We're dealing with fire signs, we're dealing with air signs. We're dealing with potentially a third party who might be an earth sign. But I get the impression that here we're just talking about this person having to get their material life in order. By their material life, I mean their finances, I mean their jobs and their career in order. They just don't have enough energy to exert when it comes to love, and it might be one aspect of their lives right now that they're rather insecure about, and this is something that you need to keep in mind, because it might be influencing the way that they interact with you. They're waiting to get to a better place before they make a move. However, this might, make you bored. I'm inclined to say you might get bored. Or they might even get bored. Especially if we're talking about, fire signs and air sign. If action isn't taken soon enough and decisively enough, either you or that person is just gonna say, well, to hell with it, it's not worth it. But if you rush into things too much, too quickly as well, that's not gonna play out to your advantage. So you need to find a good balance. And please, for the love of God, stop playing with each other's feelings. If you are doing this, because it doesn't apply to everyone. You have full control of the situation. Don't forget that with this Magician card. Okay, Aquarius, 42 minutes, pretty long reading. Was not expecting that at all. But I hope you enjoyed it. I will talk to you very, very soon. And happy birthday once again. Ciao.